What's going on, guys? I wanted to come to you today and talk more specifically to you business owner parents out there and talk about why delegation is so important. And the reason why I want to do that is I want you to be able to get time back with your family. And I'm going to go through some of the things that you can do to delegate, as well as why is it so important and how it's actually impacted my life. So that way you can also change your life and your family lives, of course, your business as well within that. So why delegation is a non-negotiable is because you have to stop wearing every single hat. Unfortunately, when we're first starting in business, we're probably wearing a lot of those hats, but you don't have to wear them for as long as you think. It's not as hard as you may think. Yes, you need to have the finances there to be able to start delegating things. Maybe you can automate them, but you can also find ways to find virtual assistants where I can come in and help you out with that. But you can find a virtual assistant for yourself to be able to delegate those tasks. Or maybe you have a great friend that wants to help you out as well and just take care of a couple of things. But even then, before we even have to delegate, just thinking in this framework of if I delegate this, what is that gonna look like, will help you out as well. So now that hopefully I've helped you understand that delegation is important here, what are those things that you can start delegating first? Social media management. So the one actually going in and posting, maybe even creating some kind of community engagement, interacting with comments that are had. I would say some of these more personal things you might not want to do, but you could have somebody come in and let you know, hey, somebody made a comment here or somebody sent you a DM. They could handle some of these things for you and start to look at your voice and how you respond to things and maybe start to create some of those responses. But at a minimum, starting to create some of the content, some of the captions that you're going to post, as well as actually scheduling on your behalf is something you can do and have a virtual assistant, also known as a VA, do for you. Calendar management and email management is another two things that you can do, kind of being your executive assistant, taking care of a lot of things for you, managing where you're going to be, making sure that your calendar gets booked and gets filled up, as well as handling emails. So you don't have to look at the junk emails. You can have that organized and be able to look at things very quickly and kind of have a summary of what's going on or what requests came in and be able to kind of assign you tasks from there. So what I want you to do today to figure out what those things are that you can delegate, I just mentioned two that are very easy to delegate, is really go through a list. I want you to list out all the things that you typically do on a daily basis. I'm not talking about the onesie twosie things. I'm talking about the things that you do on a daily basis. Write that list out and then put an L or H next to them. So either you like them or you hate them. And write that out. And I want it to be this contrast because we need to be able to say, and if you're on the border like, I don't really hate it, but I don't like it, it's a hate. Immediately put it to the hate because we need to create the contrast there. And then a second thing, after you've made this list, you've put an L or an H for like or hate, you need to put a $ or slash through that $. So are these money-making activities or are they not money-making activities? And now when you have these two categories, what we want to do is look at the things that are hated or have an H next to them and have a $ with a slash through it. So these are things that you hate or don't like that also don't make you money. And so something like social media, doing the posting itself, responding to an email probably doesn't make you money. And maybe you like social media, maybe you don't. I'd be surprised if you like handling your own email, but these are things you can look at, and those would be the things that you would then start to work on delegating. And so then from there, what we want to do is make sure we have some kind of procedure there. So you can do this in a couple ways, either literally writing out, okay, here's exactly how I do it. Here's how I go through checking my calendar, what I post on social media, or You can go through and do something like a Loom video, record yourself doing this, talking through it. And those two things are not quite as good when it comes to actually having like, here's a step-by-step, but say you do podcast recording and you have your editing and you need to go post it on your website and on Buzzsprout or whatever hosting platform you have. You can actually go through and use Loom and create the step-by-step talking through what you did. That way somebody could pick up after you and create that procedure for that. So when it comes to actually delegating this work, whether you go to a VA or somebody else, you want to make sure that you're very clear on those expectations. So have that procedure there in place. Tell them these are the things that I want to do. Here's my expectation, dates and deadlines on all of these things. When do you regularly do this stuff? You want to have all of that in place. So you can use something like Asana to help you out with that, some kind of project management software there, task management software to do that. I promise this may sound daunting to you. This may sound like so much. And you probably are saying to yourself, I don't have enough time to do this. But you don't have enough time not to do that. By you not taking the time to list out the tasks that you could possibly delegate, the tasks that you don't like to do, and that don't make you money, that are taking time away from your precious family, these are the tasks that you can hand off easily. And you can't tell me that $1,000, $1,500, $30,000 a month, whatever it may cost, how many ever VAs you may need to get, for how much ever time you need to get, it's not worth it. Your family, that time back with your family, or even at a minimum, the time back to do other things on your business, that's not worth it. I want you to really think about that. And at the worst, at least you're doing an audit on the things that you're doing, the things that you like, the things that you don't like. So when it's finally time for you to do that, you're able to then delegate or automate those tasks.